found Davos just so dismaying. It was such a display of sort of hubris on behalf of the Europeans, giving speeches about a great strategic sovereignty, etc. They should have been talking about Iran and Ukraine. These are really serious issues that need discussion.
President Donald Trump has, of course, been in Davos this morning for a signing ceremony for his Board of Peace, with countries including Israel, Turkey and Saudi Arabia signing up. Here he is speaking in the last hour.
Together we are in a position to have an incredible chance. I don't even call it a chance. I think it's going to happen. To end decades of suffering, stop generations of hatred and bloodshed, and forge a beautiful, everlasting, and glorious peace for that region and for the whole region of the world, because I'm calling the world a region. The world is a region. We're going to have peace in the world.
Alice, global peace. Great news. Woo.
I mean, it is, apart from the fact we've got President Putin on it, haven't we? I mean, that
is odd.
The oddity. Yeah. I mean, that's the biggest oddity. All of it is odd, isn't it? I mean, we have got the UN and we seem to be bypassing that, although he says they can be included. And I think, we're just in a whole new reality now.
Is the world a region?
Well, is the world a region? Is Iceland Greenland? I mean,
I guess the world...
we could carry on, couldn't we?
The world is a region of space, I suppose, of the solar system. I feel we're sort of travelling from the point much like Donald Trump does.
But he realises that it is a region for him because it is real estate, isn't it? I mean, that's what's extraordinary about this. It's all real estate. It's like one big area that he just wants. It's like a monopoly board, and he wants to get to blue.
Galactic emissions.
Well, yeah, possibly. I thought it was just him saying one sentence and then carrying on from that sentence and really having no idea. Like every speech he gives, it's like that game, that consequences game you'd play where you fold a bit of paper and everyone draws the next bit, although he does every sentence himself. Yvette Cooper, Fraser, says that the UK won't be joining because of the Vladimir Putin concerns, although she's also talked about discussing a different, more supportive role with allies. How significant is it that Britain won't be joining? Because, I mean, you look at the countries that are joining, and, I mean, significant countries, Israel, Hungary, Turkey, etc., but none of the traditional great powers, except for, of course, the United States and Russia.
Well, let's set aside Israel, because they obviously they need to be very, very close to Trump right now. When we look at Russia, we look at Turkey. These aren't democracies, not in the proper sense of the words. And it was a bit of a quandary, because on the runway, I think Trump was told that Macron would not be joining his peace board. He immediately hit back. He's only got a few weeks to go. He's a loser. I'm going to double the tariffs on his wine and champagne. So Keir Starmer has tried not to provoke. He's actually had to walk a very thin line, and very successfully, I should add as well.
I thought he was pretty tough at PMQs yesterday.
Well, exactly. So yeah. he needs to obviously stand up for his country, stand up for NATO, stand up for Europe, but in a way which doesn't seem to be needling America, managing that relationship. And I think he has done. I've not been able to fault his the way he's done this recently. But of course, we can't join Russia and Turkey on this sort of fake board of peace, even with the UN's blessing. And I'd be very surprised if any kind of strong liberal democracy does.
What do you think, Alice?
I don't think they can, but I also think there's this extraordinary sense, isn't there, with Donald Trump, that he'll move on to something else next week. So we probably won't end up with the Board of Peace, or it will. I mean, he constantly moves, like the Chagos Islands. He hears something and adds it in. And just as you're thinking Greenland, you have to start thinking about Chagos. Yeah. And just as you're thinking about Chagos, you'll think of something else. And then there'll be the Board of Peace, and then we'll have something else.
Exactly. I mean, think about this year so far. We're talking about Venezuela, week 1, Iran, week 2, Greenland, week 3. What are we talking about next week?
And that's the problem, I think, with Iran really is such a serious topic that it's extraordinary that you can just move on from a country like that when they're still coping. And that's why, the world leaders, they're all, actually, I think that Macron's having quite a fun time in a bizarre way with his shades. He's very good at doing the texting, at playing Trump's game. But there are people in Iran at the moment who really need our attention, who are really suffering. And we're all just looking at President Trump.
And this is why I found Davos just so dismaying. It was such a display of sort of hubris on behalf of the Europeans, giving speeches about a great strategic sovereignty, etc. They should have been talking about Iran and Ukraine. These are really serious issues that need discussion, as opposed to Greenland.
But
so they took Trump's bait.
They had to talk about Greenland. I mean, you can't have America saying we're going to invade Greenland and everyone goes, we'll worry about that later. I mean, that's what Kemi Badenoch did, and Starmer attacked her for it.
Yeah, look, you can discuss it, but you don't need to let it dominate. They did let it dominate. I'm not sure Trump would ever have invaded Greenland. It's against the American law, let alone international law. If you look at the American polls, Greenland was doing worse for him than even the Epstein saga. As he put it, the markets were crashing. He admitted that in his piece. I think this was... Trump tries to dangle bait and asks you to take it. He tries to get you to join his mad dance while he performs this kind of lunacy. He wants the audience to start cheering or booing, to throw rotten fruit or to throw bouquets of flowers. The trick is never to lose your composure, not to accept his invitation, to stand back. Now, if he'd done that at Davos, they would have been speaking about what's going to happen next in Ukraine. We were in the meeting today. We could be on the brink of some kind of peace or non-peace deal, or what's going to happen in Iran, where the Americans drew a red line, only told them don't fire, only to find between 10 and 15,000 people dead, and what's going to happen now. So these are way, way more important than a social media storm. Now, I don't, by the way, for a minute say it wasn't important, it didn't threaten the integrity of NATO, etc. Of course. But what happened there was the Europeans took the bait. Mark Carney came along as the anti-Trump. We all swooned.
I'm just not sure what the alternative was. I mean, because you can't, unless you've got like sort of Macron and Starmer when Trump says we're gonna take Greenland, just going, no, you're not. Let's talk about something else. But I don't think he'd Alice, I don't think he'd respond.
I think you can, because I think what happens with President Trump is it very much reminds you of when he was doing beauty contests. It's like, that's what it is. It's like, when you get the Miss World saying, and I would like world peace, or I'd like this. That's how he's doing it. That's the kind of, and he builds people up and then puts them down the whole time. So there's no point in trying to be sycophantic, because one moment you're in and one moment you're out, and that's how he likes to play it. So you need a united front. I think, as Fraser says, actually, you just need to keep focusing on Iran. You need to focus on the issues. You need to focus on Ukraine and the people there. I mean, for us, it's sort of bewildering and at moments amusing. If you're in Iran or Ukraine, none of this is funny on any level remotely. I mean, it's just like relentless misery, and you're thinking, how can we not be taking these issues seriously?
But I mean, again, when you've got the actual president saying he's going to take Greenland, even his speech yesterday in which he said he wasn't going to take Greenland, saying Greenland's part of North America, that the US gave it back, getting confused between Greenland and Iceland. Yeah, and the fact that you're supposed to go, this is just detail. None of this matters.
No, you can say it matters, but by the way, it's not going to happen because it's against American law and it's against NATO treaties. And thank you, let's talk about something that matters. Instead, we had this kind of grandstanding on an epic scale, implying some kind of breach or break with the United States, where that is nonsense. Europe depends on its security for the United States. We've got Russia nuclear power, China nuclear power. There is no similar deterrent. Now, Europe has left itself in a position where we are entirely dependent. I think what Trump has done, in my view, quite helpfully, has exposed this.
Do you really think that the NATO relationship, Europe's military reliance on the United States, is going to look in 10 years' time as it does now?
No, of course not.
I don't at all.
It has been a sort of...
But this is what breaks it. These are the things that break it.
No, it has been broken for quite some time. It has been... When you go back a quarter of a century, Tony Blair was begging George Bush to go along with the pretense of international law so you could try to pretend that America wasn't just doing what it was. It's been doing this for a long time. We have gone along with the deceit, so we don't have to spend much in defence. And when you look at what's happening in Europe's backyard, whether it's Bosnia, whether it's Libya, whether it's Ukraine, we're always asking the Americans to bail us out. Why? Now, this has been... you can't blame Trump for behaving the way he's, or for pointing out, but this is all of a nonsense. We've all known he's forcing us to confront it. Now, if we want to do something about it, we should start to rebuild our militaries and sort out our own backyard.